All right, good morning, good evening, good night. NFT Live, last NFT Live of the week. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Thursday. We have Jeff Jag here today to talk builders of Titania. We're excited to talk with you, my man. I'm also here with my handy dandy partner. That was the worst intro for Gift Ed of all time. What's up, Gift? What's up, Jeff?
Hey, look at this. Look at this right here on my feet. Look, it's up on my wall. You see?
Hell yeah!
Oh, the DBs.
You see my witchy?
That's a witchy GF DB's Queen limited edition poster. I recognize that
from ETH Denver 22.
Hell yeah, bro, dude, that's fucking dope.
Yeah,
happy to have
Star Wars.
Happy to have
May
you
the
here.
4th be with you.
Yeah, may the 4th be with all of you. I'm feeling especially handy and especially dandy today, Nifty Q. Thanks for that awesome intro. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Anytime we get to talk with amazing people like Jeff Jag, bring them on the show. You know, it's a good day. So, cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers, Jeff. I want to get what you're up to here in just a second, but we do have some quick hits that we want to touch on. First of all, again, may the 4th be with you. This is from Avagachi. This is from the Gachi gang. But of course, everybody is celebrating the 4th here, May the 4th. And are you guys? What's your favorite Star Wars movie, everybody? Because Jimmy.eth came out and said Rogue One was the best Star Wars movie of all time. So coming out straight with the pop culture. We did it yesterday. Jeff, what's your favorite Star Wars movie of all time?
Oh, man, that is tough. Because I actually do like the new trilogy, but I'm going to say of all time, it'd be Empire Strikes Back.
Okay. I like it. GIF?
Yeah, favorite Star Wars movie? Definitely the ones with Jar Jar Binks. I mean,
okay. All right, fair.
That guy.
It's just gonna be us today, Jeff. After that answer, it's just gonna be us today. No, Jar Jar Binks. Come on, Gift Ed. Woo!
You know what? I got a soft spot for horribly uncomfortable characters in my heart, and he definitely fits that. Honestly, I like a lot of the original trilogy. It's hard to beat those, even though some of the newer ones are cool. But I actually really like the most recent show. What's it called? Andor, right? That I actually really like that show. As far as like recent things they've been creating. Like Mandalorian's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's good, but like I like the more gritty adult stuff. It feels a little bit more, I don't know. It just feels a little bit more real to me, you know, when they have that, you know, high quality storytelling in a gritty, realistic world. So I like that they're going that direction.
I just wish they hadn't used a conjunction as the name and/or, like with the slash and/or. Like I like and/or Mandalorian.
Yeah.
For instance, did you get my dad joke? Where's my
Where's
buddy?
Soundboard in here.
Where's the buddy? Where's my dad buddy with the dad jokes? the dad guy, dad uncle.
Fun
Uncle.
You're right. Where is he?
Where is Fun Uncle? The
Not
dad
enough
buddy.
shirts on this show.
I need more dad buddies.
Folks, I need to get on with the episode here. We're touching on a little bit of May the 4th, but we see that there are a lot of Jeff Jag fans in the house. Squash Man is here early. Ooh. Prodigy is here early. And Jessica and Sarah Script have come out early and said, we are big Jeff Jag fans. Where Jeff Jag? When Jeff Jag? Jeff Jag to the moon? So you got a bunch of fans here, Jeff.
I'll send stickers. Send stickers to everybody. Okay, you get a sticker. You get a sticker.
Gift, bring out your signed photo real quick. I got mine.
Ooh,
I do have it actually. All right, fuck it. We're gonna do that.
Yeah. They have signed prints of NFTs that they own.
This is particularly scary. This Nightmare Fuel one. This is my favorite one by far.
Yeah, I have that that Fujifilm printer, and I brought that to ETH Denver, and so I would get with people who collected my work, and that was the DB's derivative. Yes.
Yeah, it's hard for me to do it like up close and have it in focus, you know, because I got the manual focus on, but it's really cool.
Can we get your head out of the picture so we can actually get a shot? Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, perfect.
But they print in like like 10 seconds, and then it takes like a minute or so to develop, and it's just this really cool like on the go printer. The big problem was figuring out like downloading the file, because you can't sort your collection in OpenSea by the collector. So I had to have people like DM it to me.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that's a hurdle, but we'll figure that out for next time.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, we appreciate you hopping on NFT Live today. This is the first for you. This is your inaugural show, so we're gonna need you to come back here relatively shortly. But you know, we get a little bit crazy on this show. I'm just warning you up front.
It's gonna be fun. I've watched a number of times on the YouTube stream after the fact. I'm usually really busy during the morning when it's live, so I usually watch it after.
Speaking of getting weird, yeah, we did get a little bit weird on GMWeb3 towards the end. Marty McFly over here asking if we were getting worried at the end of the show. Like, yes, I was very much getting concerned about, you know, what was going to be said and on the recording and where we would end up. Are we going to go to jail like Nate Chastain probably is? Who knows? But Jeff Jag, if you've watched this show before, then you also know that this is not financial advice, and the information was found publicly on the internet. Opinions shared on this episode are solely of the Web3 team, and all information is public domain. So always do your own research. And yeah, have to get that in there. It's important.
Okay, the chat is already kind of blowing up. So if you guys want to, throughout this episode, help me out. I can't seem to track all of them, but we're getting a lot of other comments. Squashman saying Jeff Jag Binks. Jessica wants a tour of that office. Easy and Crypto is here saying OVOT, our vibe, our tribe. Good to see some of the tribe here in the chat. Speaking of Nate Chastain, this is the biggest show today. Also, I have a quick question. Who the hell is running the NFT Live or NFT Plaza? I know who's running NFT Live. NFT Plaza's editorial team. Look at this title. Shit goes down in the Nate Chastain NFT trading case. This is like a text I would send to GIF.
That's industry news?
Yes.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, NFT Plazas is doing their best out here.
Well, listen, the main topic for today is shit is going down with Nate Chastain, the NFT insider trading case. I believe he was convicted this morning, or that some rulings came down for my man Nate Chastain, of course, the ex-employee over there at OpenSea. So that's a big story. Also, in a more positive light, we have a spotlight for Jeff Jag here, touching on that builders of Titania. So we are gonna. Are you excited, Jeff?
Yes, I'm super excited. That's the secondary marketplace right there that you've got. So that's official.buildersoftitania.com. And the mint site. So that'll show you the pieces. There you go, like the ones that are revealed so far, and none of them are listed because people don't want to let go of these tokens. They're just so good.
They are pretty heckin' cool. And again, I got to see a preview of these at Ethereum Denver, which I believe was the first time that your art was showcased in a digital gallery at the Web3 lounge that we did there. So yeah, they're very cool. And I'm excited to dig more into that. Are we just going to dig into Builders of Titania? Are we going to dig in now?
So before we do that, I've got one more. We usually start this episode with some quick hits. Guys, if you're not understanding what's happening here, first of all, we got an artist spotlight coming up. Thank you guys for showing up here today. This is NFT Live. We do it every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, 11 a.m. Pacific. We're here covering the NFT Web3 news, and we've got a ton to get to today along with this artist spotlight. My biggest piece here, and Gift Ed was pointing there, you gotta like the episode. It definitely helps us out, so I appreciate that. But my biggest quick news piece here before we jump into Builders of Titania is that it's Hal Finney's birthday. It's Satoshi's birthday, folks. So it's my belief that Hal Finney is the creator of Bitcoin along with a couple other individuals. Sadly, he passed away, I believe, in the early aughts, but he was a visionary, an innovator. We owe a lot of what we're doing today to this man here because I do, again, believe that he is the creator of Bitcoin. I love this tweet that's pinned up here, running Bitcoin in 2009. In January 2009, my man was running Bitcoin there. So, yeah, big shout out to Hal Finney. I do want to open it up a little bit. Jeff, do you have any, or Gif, you have any thoughts on Hal Finney? But I want to open it up to that Satoshi question as well.
He looks like my friend Kurt. That's all I got to say.
I mean,
high marks.
I mean, like, but is it really about him though? I mean, why do we fixate on the guy who created it? Like, I get it, it's cool, but like, I just like the concept, the thing that he made, like the what happened after that, like what opened the world up to blockchain. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, even, I mean, clearly, like if it was him, he understood that that Bitcoin or a decentralized currency should not be about him or should not be about the founder. And that's, why.
Happy birthday to the guy either way, though.
Yeah. Whoever did it clearly understood the value of having an anonymous founder, or, putting the founders to the background and focusing on the product itself. But here's an interesting tweet. So I'll go ahead and share this one with you, Q. I'm going to drop it in the private chat right now if you want to pull it up. This is the screenshot that apparently somebody put ChatGPT to the task of trying to solve the Satoshi Nakamoto riddle. And it does lend some credence to what you're thinking if it's Hal Finney, because not only is Hal Finney number 2 behind Nick Szabo with 20% likelihood, but tied with Nick Szabo is a group of people at 30%. So if you combine a group of people with Hal Finney, it might be more likely that Hal Finney was involved than Nick Szabo is Satoshi Nakamoto here. So I would say it's 50-50 based on this, but maybe actually even higher likelihood that Hal Finney was part of Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah, and shout out to Josie who brought that to my attention. Again, I would have totally missed that. All right, last thing I have before we get here into the builders of Titania, because I believe Jeff has to leave at the top of the hour as well. So we've only got him for like 30 minutes of time, but that should be more than enough to cover everything he's building. This is what your NFT influencers look like, leading you into another turbo coin. I'm not pulling up, people. Okay, I'm not pulling up that picture. Do not go to people's Twitter for another 24 hours, folks. Please. If you know what's good for you. Anyways, this is your latest favorite influencer leading you into another shitcoin pump and dump. So good luck to you as you ride that wave.
You're not wrong, and I agree with the sentiment of please be aware that investing in these things is gambling, and that like just like you're at risk to go a little underwater in some mud. Oh boy, here we go. There we go. That's what it feels like to own shitcoins. So
this is us.
I have some turbo, and by the way, I bought it. I bought almost a million of them for like $50. So I got in early on the turbo, and I sold out and made a profit last night. So I covered my costs, and now I'm just letting it ride, for the fun of.
Okay, Jeff.
So like I'm a good degen. I did it right.
It's more than we can say for some of us up here.
You pointed at me?
No, I'm pointing at myself.
So you made profits
on one of them. Yeah, I did okay initially on Pepe, and actually my Wojak position is now up a little bit, but my turbo position,
turbo's down right now. It's down. But like last night, it was really interesting because I was like, oh no, it crashed, and then like 5 minutes later, it was back up like 100%. It was crazy. So things happen. What? That's the thing though. This stuff is so volatile. You cannot be like under any circumstances predicting that it's going to go up. It just goes up, it goes down. Like if you like want the number to go up, you can be like really happy about that when it's up. But that's when you got to take the profit and leave.
All right, we'll cover Pepe here in a second, and Turbo. I did not get into either of these. Pepe was pumping. I don't know about Turbo. Gift Dad's making me think that Turbo's not doing a Turbo here, but maybe you'll get some people. Do not go to people's Twitter for the next like 24 to 48 hours.
I mean,
if you know what's good for you.
If you're a consenting adult, you can go there.
That's fair. I mean,
consent.
It is the open web. You can do what you want. All right. Builders of Titania, we have Jeff Jag, our wonderful friend and an even better artist. Let's go into what you're getting into with your ecosystem, Jeff, because we have a lot of commenters here that are talking about it. Jessica Trovsky saying, I heard the Builders of Titania are currently building the Amazon blockchain. Can you confirm?
That is pure speculation.
NDA.
Cannot confirm that. Builders of Titania is a project I've been working on for 6 months. So it was a project where it's AI art. It's a narrative digital collectible. And so if you want to, do you want me to like do a screen share while I talk? Is that cool?
Yeah, if you want to do the screen share, that's completely fine. Yeah.
Okay, and I think I can just pick the one.
Yep.
All right, so this is what it looks like when you go to the website, buildersoftitania.com, and you're going to see the mint stuff right up top. Make it easy for people to get to. Connect your wallet, and you can pick your number of NFTs and mint straight there. Shows the price and the number minted. The trailer I spent a lot of time on. I think we should link that too, because this is a YouTube. It's like cross. It's like YouTube to YouTube.
Yeah, send me the link for that, and we'll definitely 100% play it. Send me that link in the private chat, and we can do it.
Right here. Okay, cool. So so the process. Let's go down to that part. It started like as textures. I started working on this project like such a long time ago that I was making like these tall phone textures, and that's kind of the genesis of it. These images, like some of them, like especially this yellow one, made it into the collection because what I ended up doing was taking these Midjourney images as source images and then processing them very heavily in Photoshop and then using Stable Diffusion to do an image to image, which is like an image initialization. Like you start with an image and you add a text prompt on top of it. And then those two things get like schmorged into an AI thing that comes out at the end, and it has builders in it. And it took me months to figure out the process to get this all working. I was like at some point along the line was doing this paint drop thing that kind of morphed into it. Then it turned into these sort of dystopian tech textures, and that was the direct ancestor of what ended up becoming the Builders of Titania. So kind of goes into like I talk about the process here. I think the big gist of the takeaway of the whole process thing is that I'm a big proponent of using AI as a tool, and it's not just type words, get pretty picture. And I think it's really important to understand that like there's a lot of work that went into, from my side, of developing the look and feel of the images and making sure they all fit and worked with the prompts that I was using, so that there's multiple steps to the process, a lot of artistic input in it, and that I'm creating something that has a lore and a world. And so like when you look at these images, initially you'll see like that there's like textures and like, so if I bounce over to the marketplace, you can see they look like textures. And oh, do I have to switch the?
You might have to if it asks you, if it prompts you. Yeah. Here, while you're doing that, let's watch the trailer because I got that pulled up here.
Oh,
do you want to pull that up? Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Was the night before? Was the night before? Was the night before? Was the night before? Not a creature was stirring in their hair. When what to my wondering eye should appear, the moon on the breast of the new fallen snow, tarnished with ashes and soot. In spite of myself, how they twinkle. Good night. Good night.
true. Well done. Well done.
Thanks. Yeah.
My first question after that, Jeff, is what is Titania?
So Titania is a real place. And so this is really fun because I came up with this word. I thought I made it up. And I Googled it because you do that. And I found out that it's a real moon of the planet Uranus in our solar system. And so I was like coming up with this idea that I wanted to be builders. By the way, that, you know, just to like get all the like the lulls out of the way, you pronounce it Uranus. You can look that up. So
sure people will make something out of that.
Yeah, we're gonna get that out of the way. But you know, what it is it's a gas giant, it's an ice giant, and in our solar system, one of the further out planets. And so like the lore is that humans went and colonized the solar system. And so what we're left with is they created this race of AI, and then they ended up dying off. And it's not about like what caused that to happen. The story isn't about the humans. The story is about the AI. So these builders are left on this planet after humanity is gone. There's no animals whatsoever. It's just plant life and builders. And so what they're doing is just living their own life. You know, it's like what would it be like if we created our own, you know, spacefaring race that was out there, you know, exploring the galaxy. They don't eat, they don't drink, they don't sleep. They're impervious to fire. They can go underwater. They can fly. They're basically nanobot, artificial general intelligence creatures. So every builder is made up of smaller builders all the way down. And so like they can be any size. They can morph into one. They have a hive mind. And so like this whole idea of the story is that they're building this world, and there's just these vignettes, and the artwork kind of takes place on Titania of all the structures and all the things that they're doing. There's a deeper story in it that I've developed, and like a lot of opportunity for the IP to go in various different directions. But right now, what it exists at is an art project. So there's no roadmap. There's no rug possible, because it literally is just art. There's no promises made. But what I am doing is building something that could be something bigger if it does well. And so that's kind of where I go with this, is that like I put together like my original project was the heads, the HEDZ, and I'm going to go back to that as well and continue working on that. There's tokens in Builders of Titania that are the next two heads projects hidden in there. And so, yeah. So like you'll see those and be like, oh, what's this? And, you know, not get the reference until you see the tokens that come out for those. So there's lots of hidden traits and things that I did with it, and kind of made it sort of like really fun to explore the lore. But like I was saying before, you see the textures, and then you zoom in, and with these like amazingly high-res images, you can see these little guys in their world, like climbing around and doing things. And you just get this experience of like finding new things in the images constantly. So that's what I love about making art and putting work out. So
yeah, I got a lot to say on it. I've been just kind of, you know, letting you run here.
Yeah.
But I definitely, what I really appreciate about what you're doing, Jeff, is I feel like you're really putting the art into AI art. You know, I think a lot of people do think that it's maybe a much more simple process. And I'm sure some people, you know, lean or rely too heavily on the AI to create, you know, a final product. But I know, as you were describing earlier, that this is just one part of a pretty in-depth process for you, right? And that's how you're able to get such fantastic results, is that it's not like you're just, you know, prompting an AI and the AI is doing all the work here. Like you're a longtime professional artist, and you're creating your own proprietary processes and just incorporating the AI in a bunch of different ways. You know, like you kind of started with those textures and et cetera, and through these, you know, these different phases, you create this larger process you know, and then turn it into a larger collection. But I just think that, yeah, the amount of work that goes into creating something like this, a lot of people don't fully understand how much you're doing here to get these results. And so again, I think, you know, when people say AI art, there's this misnomer and this misunderstanding of, you know, like what it actually is. And it's almost like you almost need your own term for what you're doing, you know, proprietary AI art maybe or something, right? Because it's probably much more involved than a lot of people a lot of people doing it. And again, to be fair, like I think that you are really at the sort of bleeding edge of what AI art is, right? Because this isn't your first project. Like you mentioned heads, you've done a few other AI projects at this point.
This is my fourth AI project.
Yeah, and you're really pushing the capabilities and the potential of what these tools can do by, you know, innovating and expanding on these processes or running them through all these different, you know, parts and components of a larger process to get these results. And so, yeah, I think it's tremendous. I think it's fascinating, and I just want people to understand, you know, how much work actually goes into getting a product like this.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you for saying that, because like I said, it started, you know, really getting serious about this becoming something around 6 months ago. And I'm putting in like 12 to 14-hour days on figuring out that process to like curate images, to generate images, to refine my prompts. I have like a set of prompts that I can select from now on the back end of it for the Stable Diffusion side, where I can change the biomes. And that's kind of where this project really kind of took off, was when I went from just dystopian tech stuff into like forests and snow and underwater and like all these different landscapes and things that you can kind of see as different parts of the world. And it, like, I think that part really captures the imagination of just like looking at all the things they're building and like what they're doing. And it just like, I think the art really does transcend the process in this, because it tells its own story. And like each image is so interesting because you look into it and you find, you know, all the things that they're doing, and you automatically kind of go like, you wonder like, what are they making, you know, like, or what are they doing there? And it just lends itself really well to those sorts of inquisitive curiosities, I guess.
Jeff, with the different collections that you have created at this point in the NFT space and maybe even outside of it, do you ever think about maybe having those worlds collide, or are they completely separate narratives or lore?
I think that definitely would be like, crossovers are one of my favorite things from comic books, when they used to like have, you know, like Superman would show up in like you know, Batman comics, and they'd fight and then they'd become friends and solve a problem. So like, I'm down with that.
Well, and you already kind of alluded to some Easter egg crossovers here with the Heads project, right?
Yeah, there's if I were to like just give some hints, like I guess they call that alpha, you know. There's all these
some might.
There's all these like traits in the collection. In terms of like the hidden traits, there's like 15 of them. So there's anti-AI, there's my early mid-journey stuff. There's the Galactic Proxy, which is my Tezos project, Fiat Heads, Rent Heads, Nightmare Fuel, my early 3D stuff, Nobody Feels Time, and some other unmentionable secrets.
Yeah, and you've also been creating some of the most detailed, beautiful derivatives in the NFT space since it's been a thing. I mean, again, like this signed, you know, photographic print is of one of those DB's derivatives that you created. That's absolutely extraordinary. So yeah, the detail that you do, that's a theme in your work, is like attention to detail, extreme detail. But one other thing that's interesting that I'm seeing as a theme, at least in like both the Rent Heads, I guess the Gun Heads, I think they're called.
The Gun Heads is the next one. Yep.
The Heads projects and the Builders of Titania, they're very architectural and structural. So's the Shadow Box. Was that it?
Shadow Box was my 3D project from like March 22.
I also have one or two of those, but yeah, it seems like you do a lot of very structural / architectural and textural work.
Thank you for noticing that. I appreciate that. It's very much like playing on textures and light and shadow and sort of intricate details. Like, I've always kind of favored sort of geometric stuff. Some of my examples in the background here are some acrylic paintings that I've done in my closet. Over here, I've got lots and lots of acrylic paintings that I have not minted. These, I believe, are at least this one is available on Tezos. I don't know if this one is, and this one is on Tezos as well. But like they're like, you know, these, like I'm a builder. I keep making art. I keep doing things, and I'm gonna have like closets full of acrylic paintings, because it's more like early on I'm just making things. I don't have the time to go out there and make it like, oh, I'm going to be in a gallery, and like that takes up most of the time. Like being on Web3, I've, you know, been able to do art and promotion because it's online, and it's part of like this digital native sort of like, now I can finally sell the digital version. I've been a digital artist for 20 some years, and so like working in Photoshop, like you've got a digital piece that you can't sell the original. Like canvases, I can sell those, but you don't have an original to sell of digital. So that's what brought me to NFTs in the first place, was getting here and having a place to sell an original digital work. And so like NFTs are just right up my alley in terms of where I want to be as an artist and how I can basically make art and find a way to sell it.
Jeff, I've got some like macro questions I want to ask you about basically your existence in the market today. You know,
Yeah,
like
sure.
we know we're in a bear market, but before I do that, could you give us like some last details here on like the actual sale again? Because I think we started with that.
Yeah,
But
sure.
if we can follow up with the sale details.
Yeah, it's 0.05 ETH, and gas is actually very, very optimized and efficient for this contract. I did a test mint at 100 Gwei, and it was $19 in USD for the gas transaction, which you would think at 100 Gwei it'd be way higher than that.
Yeah.
If you were to mint a regular 721, it'd probably be $30 or $40. So the efficiency of this, and if you go up more than one token, it adds like $1. So like,
yeah, that's really efficient. I've been struggling with all these contracts right now with Gwei being so high, because it has been around 100 Gwei, and that's actually been closer to like $60-$70 a transaction for some of these things. Yeah.
And especially if you're doing meme coins, if you're going on, you know, Uniswap and you're spending $30 per transaction, this is a one-of-one piece of art. It's not an open edition. So you're getting your own artwork. All of them have individual titles, so they're like named like artwork are, and there's 1,024 of them in the collection. So like I said, I put this together over 6 months. It's a really big project for me. It's like all my blood, sweat, and tears went into this. So I wanted to make it as like good as it could possibly be, and not like edit it down so it's so small that it like really doesn't show off the world that I built, and also not make it so big that I can almost never sell the token. So 1,024 is a lot of tokens, but at the same time, it's like, it's a collection I think deserves to be this big. And, you know, as a builder, I'm going to put it out there, and whatever happens, happens. You know, it's like, gotta put it for, like, the art matters the most to me in this project.
And that's a conversation that we've been having on the morning show. I know you've been there talking Blur and all of these different, you know, features that are, you know, come with the traders market that we're in. Do you have that experience right now? Do you feel like the art side of the NFT space has kind of been pushed to the side, at least for now? Or what is your experience right now in the NFT space?
Yeah, I actually definitely think so. I ran a poll that like minimal results so far. Let me see what it came back as. But the poll, with 24 votes, my question was, with gas being sky high the last few days, has that impacted your purchasing decisions or caused you to put off buying something you wanted to get? And my questions were, you know, yes, NFTs, yes, meme coins, no NFTs. So there was a good amount of people who voted no NFTs. They actually bought something even though gas was high. But the vast majority here said, yes, they put off buying NFTs in the last few days. So the results, if you want to, if like here, go ahead and vote once. You should. Yeah, there you go. So people are putting off buying NFTs, and I asked this because I was like, you know what? I'm seeing this. I'm personally feeling the slowdown the last 3 days with gas being historically high, like as bad as it's been for over a year. Like we haven't seen over 100 in a long time, and for a really good stretch of time, it was 15 to 20. Recently, in the last month, 30 or 40 with the meme coin thing. Like in the last couple of weeks, rather, like got to be like kind of normal, and now over 100 like every day is just it's killing art. So I think people should keep in mind, like, you know, gas efficient contracts like ERC 721A, you know, where you can mint multiple tokens and like it's not going to add much to the gas cost.
Does it make you
Fair.
think harder about other chains, about deploying on other chains?
I mean, yes, but I'm an ETH maxi. I mean, as much as people say you should never be, like, I just love Ethereum. I'm here for the decentralized, for the enormous market cap. I'm here for the use case, the world computer, security, decentralization, all the stuff. You know, like I've been in Ethereum since March 2021, as and, you know, back in the Clubhouse days. Go back to, you know, what it is, and the value of the token aside, I think it's a platform worth building on. And even the L2s, like, I'm interested, obviously Polygon support here, and I do mint on Tezos. But when I go for a project that's like, you know, my main thing that I'm pushing out, it's usually always an Ethereum project, because I just believe in it. You know, it's a deflationary asset.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Well, you know, I was gonna say, you know, it's obviously not much help at this point, because the reality is, again, like, as far as NFT art goes, a lot of people are minting and buying and selling less NFT art right now. But the silver lining being, you know, part of the Ethereum ecosystem is that in the last month, I think it was like 60,000 ETH have been burned. Because of the higher gas, because of all the transaction volume from the meme coins. Like, the deflationary aspect of Ethereum is proving to be pretty powerful. And yeah, what does that do long term? How does that change the value of these assets or impact it? What is it all? You know, I don't know.
That comes into play. Sorry.
No, it's just, yeah, that's it. Trying to find a silver lining, I guess. It is at least interesting.
Yeah, I had the gas chart over the last, so this is over the last 6 months. You can see we're at almost an all-time high over the last 6 months. Yeah. Zoom out 1 year, you can see the trend has been rising over the last 3 or 4 months, and then, you know, zoom out, we can see we had several huge spikes. I love seeing the CryptoKitty spike. That's one of my favorite. If we zoom out, actually, that CryptoKitty spike is terrible. Wow. Wait, it's not even on here. Okay. See, back in the day, kids, we didn't even have Ethereum gas price charts.
You see that? No, go back to that real quick. You see the one right after 2022, halfway between? That's the other side.
Yeah, May 12th. I love looking at charts and putting ourselves in that moment.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You can, like, oh, that was when I lost everything. That's fun.
Yeah, almost $5,000 burned on gas.
So much. And like, well, let's not talk about taxes.
I love that. Yeah,
let's not talk about taxes. I don't want to talk about taxes. Let's talk about builders.
Yeah. Well, I want to look a little bit more at the art. Can we pull up the marketplace and just show off some of the art a little bit before Jeff Jag has to leave us? Just to look a little bit more at how detailed and beautiful.
I just have an obligation right at noon.
It's all good, man. We got a bunch of other nonsense to dig into from around the space, but we want to make sure that we talk about it.
Where's the best place to see the secondary market?
Yeah, can you link the market?
Also, experience with Nifty Kit. I'm interested in that as well. Jessica was talking about that.
Yeah, so the secondary marketplace, official.buildersoftitania.com. It's run on Rarible. I saw someone with some Rarible comment in the chat there, but what that allows for is it keeps me in control of the secondary marketplace. It withholds royalty, or it maintains royalties. So it's like a 0% marketplace fee, but it'll give me the 10% royalty if you buy and sell through my platform. It's a suggestion, and it's the official marketplace. Literally have no control over what anyone does with their tokens, but I'm going to say, you know, if you want to choose to support me and list your tokens through my marketplace, that's going to help me. And so if you want to do that, cool. If you don't, and you want to go on one of the other marketplaces that takes all the art off the tokens and just treats them like meme coins these days, then that's up to you, but I can't prevent that. But like, what I'm doing is showing a way forward for artists to have control of their work, to show off their stuff with their own, like, I got to put my own design on that. I got to make my own, like, official.buildersoftitania.com. I got to make it like a branded experience. So that's super cool for me. And then I also like to talk about Nifty Kit. Huge fan of the product. This is my 5th project with them. And so what I like, it was Shadowbox, then Fiat Heads, then Rent Heads, then Nightmare Fuel, and then Builders of Titania. So
Can you click in and expand the art, or is there a way to expand the art here?
That is actually a limitation on here. The way to expand it is to go down and view the IPFS at the bottom there. Yeah, and then you can see the full 2x3.
Yeah, details amazing, dude.
And yeah, like the Nifty Kit, what it gives me the ability to set up a drop that I have a mint button on my site, the ERC 721A, the gas efficient tokens. I've got the ability to allow lists to start and stop the sale. It's my sovereign smart contract. It's a diamond smart contract, which is a new standard ERC 2535, which is created by Nick Mudge of the Avagachi, project. So it's, you guys are fans of Avagachi, but
yeah, I didn't know that the diamond smart contract originated from the Avagachi team.
Yes, and so he even validated, like how they go out and look at smart contracts and like verify them and do like audits and stuff. Nifty Kit got Nick Mudge to do the audit of their diamond contract. Like the creator of that standard for Ethereum checked it personally. So, and his team. And so it's like that's super cool as far as nerdy stuff goes. But at the same time, like the technology is rock solid. I can add facets to the contract. So I already added one where you can do a share to earn. So if you go to the Nifty Kit website, I'll put this one in the chat. You guys can take a look at this. And this is the so Nifty Kit provides a website for every project that you create through them. So this is their website created with the project, and you've got a share to earn button at the top. So if you connect your wallet and click that, you can create a link that if you share that, you can earn 5% of any sale that is made from that link.
That's the link we should be sharing here.
Damn it, Jeff.
Do it.
We're a little bit late. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, I'll connect my wallet. I'll add it to the description on this video for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry. I do like that's all because it'll be unique to your wallet.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It's like affiliate marketing.
Yeah, with your MetaMask wallet, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, hell yeah. So since you're here and we're on the topic, can you, in a very simple way, explain what a diamond contract is, or like what the difference between that? Yeah,
it's an upgradable smart contract. You've got the ability to add facets, as they call them, because of diamond, and you can add facets to the contract that can do new functionality. So it's got like ability to link to other things, and so you can add things, you can remove things. It's a gas transaction to add them, like an app. Like you can think of it as like the App Store, and you can go and add these. One of them is ApeCoin. Another one is royalty control, which you previously couldn't edit in your smart contract. It would be deployed with the smart contract. You couldn't go back and edit it, but now you can with this facet. There's another one that allows you to do gas sharing. So like you can split the cost of gas or take on the cost all yourself. So that's something I may consider doing. And there's some other options that I'm kind of thinking about because of the fact that gas is so crazy. And like you said, the art market is kind of suffering from that. It has impacted my project, but I'm going to keep going out and talking about it. This, when you do a 6-month project and there's like a day hiccup, you don't just throw your hands in there and walk away. Like I'm building this thing. Literally, is the whole theme of the project is building. So yeah, this is something I'm gonna stick after and keep talking about.
I love all the different like futuristic looking landscapes and environments. I mean, it's amazing.
I love the texture of the snow ones. Like this, just like going in and like looking like part of my prompt to share it. Yeah, the biomes like is like covered in snow was one of the things that's part of this prompt, and it just like it takes almost any image and add snow in it. And I'm like, that is genius, like the ability to get creative with it. But there's certain parts of the prompt you can't mess with because that's how the builders come in, and that's the secret sauce. I won't tell that part. You cannot buy Titania with ape. Sorry, Nox Darkness. I could enable that. Is that something that you guys are interested in? Because that could be a possibility, but I probably have to stop the sale and start it and do a promotion with just ape as the payment.
Yeah, sounds like you got at least one person interested. I don't know if that's enough to do all that, but
you can swap.
It could be a poll.
Yeah, you could swap ape to ETH, and then
yeah.
if you've got ape. Hell
yeah.
If you've got ape.
If you got ape.
Mine's doing something. So I'm not going to say what I'm doing with my ape. It's doing something.
What could that be? All right, real quick. So I want to do a giveaway real quick. I'm gonna purchase one of these for a community member here. We're gonna go to the NFT Live link here today.
Oh shit!
Gif, so this is what we should do. Unless you got a better one, go into the NFT Live link, leave a comment for Jeff Jag. Of course, this is in support of Jeff, but go as well and support us by typing in here who you think Satoshi Nakamoto is. You just have to guess.
Well, and you can put Papa John in there if you want.
And you also have to follow NFT Live and Jeff Jag on Twitter. That's the other part.
I like the addition. All right, so I just dropped that link there in chat. You guys go to this tweet for today's episode featuring Jeff Jag and OpenSea to jail, and you're gonna put in who is Satoshi Nakamoto. I would like actually to see your guys' guesses there.
Nice.
I feel like everybody's just gonna say Hal Finney, but
And that's for one Builders of Titania piece. So I'm gonna do that giveaway.
I'm gonna tweet this out.
Doing a giveaway right now, fam. You know what? We haven't been doing that many giveaways lately, especially with gas being so high. I've been very reticent.
I've been doing some ApeCoin giveaways. I don't know about you. You've been like all over the place, Gif. What's up?
I have been all over the place. You know what? It's wild times out here.
Okay, I have a heart out. I gotta go, guys. I really appreciate it. This really meant a lot to me to share this on your excellent show, and keep it up. Do the things. I'll come back.
Hell yeah!
Awesome, man.
We'll have another chance. But yeah, thank you for letting me talk about the project. This is like I said, something that means so much to me. I've been working on this such a long time, and so to get the opportunity to talk about it to your audience, it really means a lot. Thank you,
Jeff. We got one request before you leave. You got to say our vibe, our tribe.
Our vibe, our tribe. Did I say it right? I kind of went up
so much with the question mark.
Yeah,
maybe in our vibe, our tribe.
Our vibe, our tribe.
There it is, Jeff. You're amazing. We appreciate you, man. You're doing a lot for the space, and your art's phenomenal. So anything we can do to help spread the word.
And shout out to my friends in the chat. You guys are adding some comic relief. I love you. And Sarah Script and Jessica Yatrovsky are official featured collabs with the project. Their tokens have not yet been minted. Kind of sitting there waiting for treasure to be plucked out of the mint. So
hell yeah.
Love to see it. All right, dude.
Let's go.
Talk to you later.
Later, bud. All right, we have to whoa. We should end the show there because it's going to be all downhill. It's already going to be just an absolute shit show from here on out.
Let's ride this toboggan all the way down to the bottom. let's see where she goes.
This is a good look, guys, at where the NFT Live episode is headed. We're here. We're in this point of the timeline right now, and you're with us. You're on the boat, and we are headed into wherever that takes us. So just be wary.
This is your favorite visual metaphor right now. I see it. I feel it.
For at least the next 24 hours, along with saying Fidgetal.
I don't think we're influencers. We are not influential enough to even call ourselves influencers. So, no, we're cooler than quote unquote people that call themselves influencers. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're actively driving anyone to go take any sort of death-defying stunt or yeah. Anyway,
I've got a ton of answers to the Satoshi Nakamoto question already. I heard Satoshi Nakamoto is Hezbollah. Satoshi Nakamoto, he's old enough. Even though he looks like a child, he's old enough to be Satoshi. Satoshi is the name of sushi. I figure Satoshi has to be one person. More than one can't be a secret. So it's probably some Linux dev. And I heard Satoshi Nakamoto is the builders of Titania. So
that might be the best answer. Builders of Titania are Satoshi Nakamoto.
You know, the great thing about it is none of that can ever be proved. All right, into the rest of the quick news for today. We had the Doodles studio on the dashboard for like at least 3 episodes and we never got to it. And we also have the Pharrell pack here for Doodles. Is any of this moving the needle? Is any of this moving?
Let's check the floor.
It did. The floor price actually increased. I will say that. The floor price.
Isn't this all for Doodles too? Like, I don't think any of this really does anything for Doodles, does it?
Well, the Doodles floor price has increased. It was sitting at an average floor price of 2.3, about 2.4. It did increase the floor price to about 3 ETH. So we got some Doodle buys. That's something we haven't seen in a while. But is this moving it for you though? Adidas? No. Doodles, Pharrell.
I mean, I like Adidas and I like Pharrell and I like Doodles, so you'd think so. Yeah, if we haven't watched the video, we should at least watch it. It's a cool, like their animations and the quality of their video content is always awesome.
We keep saying that, but like, why is it not interesting? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it a lack of monetary, like, this like gets to an existential question of like, is the Bored Ape Yacht Club as cool as we think, or is it just because we've made a lot of money on it? Does that have something to do with it? It's like, why Doodles is creating cool shit, but we don't care to. I mean, we own Doodles. I'm sitting on 2, but like, what is it?
So first of all, don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. Second of all, nothing creates loyalty like financial reward.
It's mercenary.
So wait, what?
I get what you're saying. It's almost like hiring like traditional armies, or historical armies always had like a group, maybe even that rivaled the size of their native army that was just full of mercenaries, and they were literally just like, all right, bigger financial reward, I'm fighting for that guy.
Yeah. If Bored Apes had not created a ton of value, it would not have the community it does today, right? Bottom line, it's a mix of things, but we obviously, as we've seen lately, cannot separate NFT art and crypto art from the financialized digital asset trading market. Like, the financial aspect of this is very big, and I don't think it's wrong to say that a lot of the people in the space wouldn't be here if it wasn't for money or the potential to make a lot of money. And definitely, if you haven't already, like it to hug a doodle, because my doodle needs some hugs, and we appreciate it when you like the episode because it helps get it out to more people, fam. Y'all know how algorithms work. It's the algo, and we need your love on the video. So smash the like.
Damn, Gift just went into a hard CTA after like getting really deep. I was thrown off there for just a second. All right, let's watch this video real quick. Let's see what Doodles is doing, right? Because again, we're talking about their animations being dope. Their storytelling is really good. Let's see what's going on. See you on the other side.
I say she over here talking about not boule. I'm so west, this should be my last name. Hey, I'm looking for a cutie, someone who won't betray. Yeah, and my love goes deep. If I say it later, then this what I mean. I see you getting wetter through your jock moose. My forever is forever, can't let nothing come between. like Anderson. Pack that pussy up, baby, I handle it. No matter if you're with somebody new, you gon' think about me and I think about you too. Forever.
See, I mean, it's sick.
It is Doodles.app. Have we pulled up Doodles.app? I mean, but again, I think
previously
here,
it must have been like a porn site or something.
Doodles.app. It was all penis drawings. Anyway, that's a callback to GM Web 3. Does anybody know what the name of the condition where you can't stop drawing penises is called? Let us
It's like
know.
phallic something. It's got to be phallic something.
It's a phallic obsession.
I'm looking this up on Google GIF. I'm saying I can't stop drawing penises. I would love to watch that super bad scene. Yeah. Oh, man.
Last show of the week.
Luckily, it was on my history before I even pulled it up, so it filled it in. It's perfect.
Last show of the week. We're here. We're doing it. Okay. Here's my whole thing. Still with Doodles, is that I see the badass video. I get that it's like dressing your character with fashion items. I still don't know how to do it well. Like, I'm still confused, like, really what it is and how to get into it. Like, is this Doodles 2? Isn't this Doodles 2? I'm not in Doodles 2. I tried to get in with the duplicators and it didn't make sense and it didn't work for me. So I just got a doodle and a couple duplicators. I don't know what to do. I think that's the thing, is that, like, it looks dope. I wanna do stuff. I don't know how or why yet. I still don't know how to do it well.
Are they calling Virginia Beach Doodle Beach?
Wow.
Free ice cream. Oh, I fucking missed out. God damn it. Doodling is about creative expressions in all forms. Want to create your own doodle? The doodle of your dreams can be made with the studio. Browse your own wearables and explore the marketplace for more. Purchase packs, dress up your avatar, and mint it on-chain to truly own your digital identity across profiles. Okay, here we go, GIF. At the center of it all is the original 10,000 digital collectibles made up of hundreds of exciting visual traits designed by Burnt Toast. Hand-drawn doodles include skellies, cats, aliens, apes, and mascots. The Doodles collection also includes dozens of rare heads, costumes, and colorways of the find an OG doodle. I still don't see the connection. I see what they're trying to do, but to your point, what's the connection? Just sending me to OpenSea?
Yeah, can somebody explain it? I don't know, man. Like, I feel like they crossed the complexity chasm and they're trying to keep building while, like, going back, but they're just, like, moving forward further, and I'm still lost. I'm still, like, I didn't make it across the chasm. I'm still sitting on the other side. Like, I got my doodle, I got my duplicators, don't know what to do. I already fucked up really bad once. Mm-hmm. Prodigy saying the hype is dead. Stop bringing washed up singers and praying to bring hype. Fuck you. Jesus Christ. Pharrell is not fully, I would say Pharrell is not exactly washed up. He's been doing a lot of things and is still massively popular.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to get back to Pharrell piece here. Doodles has recently been on a mission, first acquiring Golden Wolf Animation Studio and then debuting Doodles 2 on Flow. The renowned blue chip NFT project has now taken more significant strides, creating digital and physical attire as Chief Brands Officer Pharrell Williams collaborates with 4 major fashion labels, including Adidas, to launch the Doodles Pharrell Pack. To kickstart Doodles' new Pharrell Pack airdrop, Doodles recently launched Doodles 2. Character builder. As such, Doodles can showcase a unique identity, one of which is personal to them across multiple accounts.
My feelings exactly. Hey, Squashman throwing out here that apparently Oni has just announced a partnership with Horizon Labs Ventures, which I believe is the people behind ApeCoin.
That is
and that we're supposed to be behind the gang token.
Wait, I've been talking about no, please, the train cannot leave the station before I load up on Onis.
I mean, you've been talking about it for way too long without doing anything about it. So at this point,
hey man, sometimes the best action is inaction.
There's still the floor price sitting under 0.7.
Sitting there. It went from 0.63 to 0.68 literally in the last 2 hours. Let's bring that up. Before we get to that last piece, Pharrell is, at least we see a little bit of activity. That was another thing. Like, they brought on Pharrell, but like he wasn't really involved, it seemed like, in pushing the Doodles brand. Well, we see a tweet here from Pharrell saying, "Me by me, Doodles, go create your doodle in the studio. Pharrell pack airdropping May 5th." Okay, so essentially what you have here is like they're taking, it feels like they're unpacking the PFP piece where it's just been a profile picture, and they're basically saying, hey, this is a way to uniquely customize it, and you can uniquely customize it with traditional Web 2 brands. Like that's what it feels like to me, GIF. Like, we see a huge picture of an Adidas shoes here. Like, those could potentially be those collectible items for your doodle. Like that, it's just like customizable avatars.
I think they're definitely okay. I like a lot of the things they're doing. Again, I'm still confused how to like get the best experience out of it, but I think they are doing a lot of things right. And one of the things is that I do feel like they have at least a pretty clear direction on like, what is the brand about and what are they trying to be? Right. And that is like fashion, style, like cool to like the hype beast type people that want to flex, online or in the metaverse with cool swag and who like new shoes. And it's that whole thing. Right. And so I do feel like they have a very strong narrative around the brand. It still feels like the execution is clunky and unclear to me a little bit.
Yeah.
And that chasm of complexity is very gapingly wide. I think Kevin, the Tack Daddy, is saying that it feels like Barbie shit to them. I don't know, a little bit confusing, but he's saying hell no to this.
Well, dude, we just talked about product market fit, and I think what we're basically getting at is they're creating something cool. Like, they're creating something like that looks pretty cool. I mean, customizable, but there's no product, there's no market for it. Like, nobody really is like dying for this. That's the thing that we keep coming back to, is like everything visually looks dope. They got Pharrell on board, but for some reason, no one's really dying for it. Maybe the Doodles community isn't big enough for this.
I think you're right in that it's like the product market fit maybe is not quite there. And I think what happens a lot of times when you're developing a new product or launching a brand or doing something is you're relying upon the wrong data, or you're drinking your own Kool-Aid in a way, right? Which is, I'm sure that there's been certain data points or certain people, agency people on their team that have come to them that say like, oh, digital fashion, the metaverse, all these things are going to be huge because of these cherry picked numbers from some time that doesn't even apply to right now. And so they put together this whole case in their heads and drank their own Kool-Aid around like, this is going to be huge because we can point to these other weird indicators. And yet when you see like the reality of the users right now, it's like
the feedback
or
user
the feedback. Yeah, like in practice, it's just not connecting fully, right? So it's like they kind of hyped up this whole idea in their head of like, well, clearly this makes sense because of all these different stories or cherry-picked data. Like, clearly this is going to be huge. But again, like, they didn't have the right data or the right research to actually prove out, or the right proof of concept ahead of time to prove out that there was an actual need and desire for what they're creating. Yeah, Kevin, the Tack Daddy, said no market research ever is basically another way of putting that.
Yeah. I've tried to wrap my head around this piece too, man. And I think Doodles offers a little bit of a glimpse of this secondary marketplace for smaller value items, right? Because these aren't, again, what we're used to with like trying to make a bag in NFTs is buying maybe a 1 ETH item even, or a 0.5 ETH item. These like, frankly, pretty expensive individual assets, and trying to turn that into a 5 ETH sell or a 10 ETH sell. And I know guys like Marty McFly were saying, hey, that's not going to be the case in the next bull run. Well, what I've been trying to wrap my mind around with this stuff is, if Doodles can actually build this out, you can get to a point where you do have smaller value items if you're able to buy them in any type of volume, and you can still have a really cool, flipping experience or collectible and trading experience with these smaller value items. You know what I mean? If you get the like before anybody else, if you bought 200 of these Doodles Adidas, this is not financial advice, but if you bought those all for $500 or $1,000, you could potentially sell those for a 2x and do pretty well. It doesn't have to be these large value flips, is what I'm trying to wrap my mind around as bigger brands get into the space and the eventual, I think, value of NFTs falls. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Like we're still going to have the ability to 10x to 20x to do all this, but it's going to be from like $5 to $200 or $5 to $500. It's not going to be $150 or $1,000 asset flipping it for 10 G's or 15 G's. Do you see my meaning?
Yeah. And it's also just making me think more about, there's different types of products and different types of brands. And I feel like even though they have this clear narrative as like fashion style, etc., knowing the audience, again, this gets back to the research of like having that product market fit, but like understanding that audience and who you're catering to and at what like what level quality is really important. And I think the part that got confused here, besides like the execution, is who their audience is and at what level is their brand, right? Like, are you Gucci? Are you Prada? Are you this, the Tiffany's? Are you this high-end collectible? Or are you retail consumer Adidas, providing things for the average person that's good quality, but it's at a much lower price point, right? These are two different audiences and two different products. And I think Doodles is stuck in the middle right now. Mm-hmm. They came out, they were a blue chip collectible. They were this high-end, super expensive entry point. And then Poopy said, fuck you, floor your shit. We're not an NFT project anymore. We're an IP brand of wearables or some shit. And it's like, okay, so you don't give a shit about your high-end NFT collectors or servicing this anymore. You're just trying to be this now? Is that it? Like, how do you do both of these things? That's the challenge that I'm seeing right now is like, even though they know who they are from like a directional perspective, they don't know who they are from like a product market perspective or the audience that they're serving.
It's a shiny object. They got lipstick on a pig right now. It's that simple to talk about with Doodles. Like, they make it look really nice, but there's nothing of substance there.
And yet they have more substance than 99.9% of all projects out there, right? That's the harsh thing here, right? It's just like, I think it's also another example of moving maybe a little bit too fast to expand your supply and not being careful or targeted enough. And they've diluted, I think, a lot of the power of that original, original supply and the original collectors.
You know what fucking pisses me off about this? And I've said it multiple times. The Doodles team is from Dapper Labs. And Dapper Labs continues to make that same mistake over. Like, I'm almost getting heated about it. Because, like, the same thing you just said can be said about NBA Top Shot, can be said about CryptoKitties, can be said over and over and over. It's so weird. So weird.
Well, it's, on that point, it might just start to say like, hey, anytime Dapper Labs is associated with anything, just know that they're not going to do a good job of retaining the value long term or necessarily care about maintaining any sort of long term, solid tokenomics, like supply side tokenomics or collector focused IP, it's all going to be about maximizing the supply and trying to get the most money out of it at the end of the day. And, so just being aware of that, right? That's Dapper's thing. They have a track record now, to your point, and that's a big track record. It's not a small track record. It's not like, hey, they just launched one or two things. They've launched a lot of things, a lot of big things.
Yeah. I think it's a great point. All right, I'm gonna get into really quick. Let's hop into the OniForce news. I pray to God this train doesn't leave the station. But
why? What are you waiting for exactly? If you've got the ETH and you're this interested, I'm just curious. Is gas a little bit too high? Is a $50 gas fee on one of these assets slowing you down too?
Again, what I'm talking about with these assets right now is you're going to have to buy them in higher bulk if you want to see any type of return. Like, you're not seeing. That's what's so crazy about the meme coin stuff, is that you can buy $500 worth of Pepe coin, and within 2 weeks, it can be a ridiculous multiple. You're not seeing that in NFTs right now, and you won't see it for a long time. If I buy this OniForce, if I buy one OniForce, over a year's time, I could potentially, I think even I have an outlandish guess that it's going to be over 10 ETH, but it's more likely going to be less than that. It's not going to be that big of a multiple, So
this is why there's so much interest in meme coins right now, is because, again, that speculative trading, fast money, whole thing right now, the NFTs are not really that for most people.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a longer term investment in IP and projects and art that you like right now, to your point. So yeah, if your goal is investing in something that you truly believe in, it makes sense. If you're trying to make quick money, quick flips,
it's not,
maybe not.
Yeah. Agreed. Prodigy's asking, what's the best website to stake Ape? One, we're not going to answer that.
We wouldn't know. How would we know?
I'm not answering that question. We have people outside the U.S. in this chat who could potentially answer that question for you, and a bunch of smart people. One thing I will say is, based on options, again, I'm not giving you the best. One of the options, and the main option that the Ape DAO, the DAO that's essentially is in charge of the treasury of ApeCoin, went with Horizon Labs. Like, they're literally partnered with Horizon Labs on their staking, on their official staking platform, quote unquote. Well, OniForce apparently just joined that game. I don't know what game that means. They're just saying, we are proud to announce our official partnership with Horizon Labs Ventures. What does that mean? We can jump into the announcement.
Yeah.
Yep, we can. I'm a step ahead of you here, GIF.
Well,
OniForce strategic partnership announcement. A new chapter begins. God help me if I don't get into this and the thing goes wild. For immediate release, OniForce is happy to announce that it has formed a strategic partnership with Horizon Labs. This collaboration highlights OniForce's dedication to progress and intention to deliver its community world-class experience. Horizon Labs Ventures clients and partners include Yuga, ApeCoin DAO, Sandbox, yada, 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 and other prominent players within the Web3 space. This is interesting. Animoca Brands is got their fingers in everything in this NFT space. This is interesting that they're involved.
I forgot for a minute that Animoca is also behind Otherside. Like, they really are in fucking everything.
Yeah. Shout out to Godfather Yatsu on that one. This exciting partnership aims to combine HLV's experience advising some of the most successful Web3 projects. You can tell I'm getting a hushed tone. I'm waiting for the token announcement. When token, with OniForce's strengths in IP creation, develops story-based solutions that cater to evolving demands of the digital landscape. This is a bunch of word salad. Let's see if we can find anything.
Maybe we go look at the comments if there's nothing in here. I'm sure a lot of people are just going to be like, does this mean token? I mean, what we do know, what I believe we know, is that Horizon Labs is behind the ApeCoin launch, and that they definitely specialize, like, at least one of the things they specialize in is token launches and tokenomics. Does that necessarily mean that that's what this partnership's about? They're clearly being very careful in that article to not say that. So possibly not. There might be other things.
Okay, at this moment, just remember this, roll it back. If in 2 days we see some type of ridiculous pump or anything like that, 0.67 is the floor price on Oni Force. So remember that. Keep this as a timestamp. Of course, again, like we're saying, Horizon Labs provides staking infrastructure for ApeCoin staking.
Is that their, like, can we search or just go to Horizon Labs website? Like, pushing the boundary, yeah. Like, because I'm sure they do other things based on this. Like,
it's definitely like staking infrastructure is major. Obviously, the staking infrastructure includes both ERC20s and ERC 721s. You could do NFT staking without a token. I don't know what that looks like.
Dang, they got some codas with some codependence there. Are they behind Blur too?
I hope that would be. No, they would have said it. They would have said it.
We'll go. Oh, so you think they were just commenting on Blur?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Part 2 of our tokenomics series is now live. 1 month of Blur can be ready below.
Yeah, I don't think
it's just insights. Okay.
Yeah.
We should probably actually talk about that. That looks like an interesting read.
All right. Let's check this out. Oh, this would be really dope. Is this a ecosystem piece? Critical topic. So read more about this critical topic and what HLV can do to help you set your token offering apart from the crowd. Oh my God. Where is Oni? Where is Oni based?
I think Star Wardy's in LA. By the way, he said he'd come on the show. It seems like a good time to reach out and try and get him on to come talk about all this.
Star Wardy ain't saying shit. If we ask him anything, there's gonna be nothing there. But
yeah,
I would love to get
maybe we can get some more insight.
So I saw advisory solutions, of course, one of which is the staking, but advisory.
All right, go back up to the top real quick. Saw Dust, saw ApeCoin, Sandbox, which also has a token, Yuga, which has, again, that's ApeCoin. So it's like there's definitely a focus on tokens. It doesn't seem like that's all they do, but yeah,
they do definitely venture capital. I got a fucking doodle in there. Who's this? I want to talk to Eric, who still has their PFP as a doodle right now.
Ralph Quintaro does. I believe he's still rocking his.
Yeah, that's part of his. That's part of his. He's stuck with that
brand. Yeah, that's his brand.
Okay, I'm gonna get to Squashman's comment. I haven't read it yet. I do want to see what he has to say, and then dude, I love this convo right here. I've been itching, so this is good. If Oni is targeting more of the Asian market or international market for that matter, then why not go the route of Ape and restrict access to US and other countries? I can see that scenario. My question being, we've heard Azuki is targeting the Asian market. Has Oni come out and they're going the same route, or are we just assuming that like the manga or that type of art is going to be appreciated and they target Asian markets?
Well, they're definitely trying to be global, and the Asian market is definitely for Oni. Or like it's a good match there. It's a strong fit, and there's actually a very interesting history behind Oni and subsequently Azuki that I have a little bit of insight to, knowing the original founders of the Oni project and talking to them a little bit about it. Azuki very much sort of rode off the coattails and copied a lot of things that Oni did, and even stole most of their team. So like there's bad blood between a lot of the original Oni Force community and team and the Azukis, because there's a lot of arguments that can be made that Azuki literally kind of like derived their whole essence from what Oni was doing.
Oh my God.
Here we go. Oni Force was acquired by OFR Fund, which is run by the ex-CFO of Binance. The DAO of Wei, I guess, is their name. And then Horizon Labs is the team that built Ape. So when Force, ooh, that's a fun cash tag. Force. I mean,
I'm
look,
gonna have to do it.
this is all speculation, Q. I do feel like you should probably shit or get off the pot on it, because otherwise you might look back from now. But yeah, it's a longer hold. It's a longer time frame. You know, it's probably at least like 6 months to a year.
I just love the entry price. You know, like what is the total supply here on Oni Force? Again, guys, this is not financial advice.
7,777.
It's not.
Unless some of them have been burned. Can we confirm if any have been burned? So here's a fun factoid.
Is there a secondary? There's no derivative?
Go to OpenSea. Can you go look at OpenSea? As much as we love NFT Go here, I want to see something on OpenSea.
How do you get to OpenSea from here?
Well, they make it hard because they want you to buy in their marketplace. Just go to OpenSea.com or whatever, and then or .io. Excuse me.
Trying to get scam, dude.
So one interesting thing about OpenSea.
Hold on. One last thing, Gif. What do you? I typed in OpenSea.io. I'm in the search bar. What do you think my first search? Because it takes your history. What's the first search that comes up? Just take a guess on OpenSea. Because we've done it recently. I've done it recently.
Pepe Pepe.
Yes, good call. Pepe Pepe.
What do I win? What do I win, Q? Do I get a Builders of Titania?
You get my respect.
We're doing a Builders of Titania giveaway. We got to make sure that we follow up on that. This is big. We got to make sure that we milk that. We should actually probably make sure that we pump that on Twitter today and follow up on it. Maybe we do it throughout the weekend and give it away on Monday. I don't know. Up to you.
I think we pump it.
Pepe Pepe. Huge.
Hey, another thing.
Rise token would be good.
That's a terrible idea. I'm already like, how do you spell
better
that?
Than force.
You gotta.
Oh, that's true. It's hard to spell. Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
could you just do Oni token?
Look, I got one last thing before I got to stop interrupting Gift at this point. But the boys are back tonight.
Oh, funniest show on Twitter. Let's go.
Speak Easy back at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Love to see Easy in crypto and the newly minted father, Kane Mayfield.
Yes,
good to see him.
Huge congrats again to Kane. Okay. Yeah, that'll be the celebration about his bebe. It'll be like the post-birth bebe shower. We'll give him his push gift or whatever you give to the. I don't know what you give to the dad.
Sit there and watch gift.
Yeah, here we go. Let's look on OpenSea. So here's the fun thing that I didn't know. It seemed maybe this is obvious, and I'm sure like a bunch of other people know this. I just didn't ever really think about it. But so you see how it says items 7,775. So actually, OpenSea, what they do is they flag or block assets that have been sent to burn wallets. So they know like what the burn addresses are and they block all of those. So it's actually counting the deflation as tokens are burned. So what that means is that 2 Onis have been burned.
Dude, these floor Onis look like shit.
Really?
Oh, that one.
Some of those are dope. What do you mean? Some of them are pretty fucking dope.
The first ones are kind of.
Dude, all the ones with masks are fucking sick.
Yeah, I like the card.
Dude, that skull mask is sick.
Skull mask. These are kind of Skull mask here is kind of dope.
Dude, all the masks are fucking sick.
I love the card in the hat. I'm a big fan. Yeah. I mean, they're floor, you know.
Dude, look at that one right there with the white background and the red mask and the smoke background. Sick. Dude.
Do you like the matching skin color to the background?
So this is interesting because actually, like some people really like that. On chungos, actually, some of the rarest chungos are the ones that have the same color background to the skin. So I don't know that Oni has the same preference where like people pick those as like that is a rare, cool thing. But I know on some projects at least that's like the thing that you want. It's like the coolest fucking thing.
I'm about to make like NFT statistics like a tweet. Like I'm about to go viral for sweeping this shit because it's like what 20 to 0.9.
Do it, bro.
I'm about.
I mean,
to.
Look, not financial advice, fam. We're not financial advisors, but Q's been sitting here talking about Onis, saying they're gonna hit a 10 ETH floor, in a year. He's been saying this for months now, and I'm frankly getting to a point, Q, where I'm like, seriously, shit or get off the pot, bro. Because like if you keep sitting here like being like, oh, you know, it looks good, Onis, I should get some of those. I'm just gonna be like, all right, bro, you're capping, you're full of shit. So I love them. I'm still holding 2 right now. If I had a bunch of extra liquidity, honestly, I'd probably buy some more because I'm bullish on them too. But I do think I think it's a longer term hold. You know, I think it's 6 months to a year at least.
Squash is saying he doesn't like for Oni, he doesn't like the skin color matching the background.
Here's an interesting difference is that you don't have as much contrast between the background as Chungo's because it's not the fat line art, right? This is like highly detailed thin line art. That's Brian Lee's style. And the Chungo's is like that sort of goofy fat line. So you've got at least more of like a clear outline and contrast between it. And so there's something about that works a little bit different. So maybe that's part of why it just does, like it kind of, you see how it kind of, it sinks into the background a little bit more. It doesn't have as much contrast. So even though it's cool and some people might like that, I don't think it has the same effect or impact that the fat line art on Chungo's do. And that's why people like it more.
Mm-hmm.
I think people like the contrast a little bit more here.
Yeah. I'm also interested in the background on, and this is like getting highly nuanced. I don't want to like dive deep into this, but like when I changed my ape from a like shitty like throw up background color and then I had a gray background to the blue or the teal that I have now, like it definitely stands out in Twitter Spaces more. It definitely stands out more on mobile. You know what I mean? That's something like that's a small nuance. Yeah.
Yeah. Poppy. Look, Poppy colors have always done well with NFTs because it's digital art primarily being displayed and consumed on LCD or, you know, different types of bright digital screens. That's why, you know, something like a Caked Apes is fucking phenomenal because the whole color palette and all the gradients and things like that are just fucking amazing.
Yeah. Cam's bring.
That's why this art looks fucking badass.
Yeah, I do like that. I'm always kind of jealous of that. Cam Taylor saying, Q, are you only thinking about buying because you think number will go up? Case in point about this space, 99% financially motivated. So we've had this debate a lot, and it's happening more and more. I think we could dedicate a whole episode to it. I don't know if I want to like spend that much time here today, but one, I really got here before the NFTs really popped off. So when I entered the space, it was financial. You know what I mean? Like it was very much like ICOs were essentially a way for people to be angel investors, right? Like you could send in ETH and get a certain amount back. That's essentially what an angel investor does. That now the tokenomics were different, right? You could get your tokens a week, maybe even a couple days after you sent in and maybe even like you send in ETH and they send you back tokens. Like that's how quick you got it, and then it would hit secondary market, and that was like the environment during those times. So it was already financial for me. I like NFTs and I've said this multiple times to you, Gif, like my thesis is not shaken with NFTs being about ownership, being about having our world be more digital each day. And in that environment, you need to have unique digital ownership. So that doesn't change for me. That being said, I have a bunch of ETH and USD, and I'm not saying a bunch, like I'm not fucking Jimmy.eth here, but I have to understand like where I want to put that. And some of that is like we're in the NFT space. Like we're on the front lines and covering the NFT space, a space where we can make money. And so the question being that we ask ourselves sometimes, Gif, is where do I want to put where do I want to store my money? You know, like me and you probably have more of our net worth in bullshit, what people would think bullshit assets are, than, you know, USD sitting in Wells Fargo. So I'm sitting here saying, do I want to keep my money in USDC? Do I want to keep my money in ETH? Or when I see an opportunity, do I want to move some of that around to put it in ONI because I believe in that value accrual, you know, at that price? That's where I'm coming from. I'm not saying like I'm just here for your JPEG trading. I love what's happening on the other side. I love what's happening around the space. I loved CryptoKitties when it came out. It wasn't about flipping, although I probably wouldn't have bought it if I knew I was going to lose money. You know what I mean? Like, I still love the digital ownership piece of that, but I'll get off my soapbox.
Well, it's an interesting dance of all the above, right? But you still can't separate the financial aspect of it, right? These are expensive assets, generally speaking, and you are hoping that they go up. But that's why, some of the best advice that anybody's ever given is to buy things that you love. uh, because at the end of the day, if you look in your wallet and it's not only full of useless losers that you lost money on, but also art and projects and artists that you don't give a shit about, that's the insult to injury, right? So yeah.
And we're doing both. We talk about that too, right? I'm buying Jeff's project as well, and I'll hold that and I'll display it in my house as well whenever I do get
That's
nice
legit art.
piece. Yeah,
it's legit art.
Okay, we're coming up on the end of the episode here. We probably have about 15 minutes. You guys are awesome today. A lot of great comments coming through. Did Prodigy have one? He said, "Don't." People don't give a shit about the dad. We get left out after that whole 2 minutes of work to create that baby. But once the kid is here, that's our gift. So it's chill. Hey, I didn't realize it took you 2 minutes, Prodigy. I would have thought like maybe 60 seconds max. So yeah, good on you for getting there. Real quick, this is the NFT Go analytics platform. Sentiment's increasing a little bit. Hey, we look at this pop in USD over the last 7 days. GIF. Interesting on the blue chip index. Is this a blend? Is this a emergent thing from blend? I'm wondering. And then if we go into ETH, it's not as good, but we're seeing.
Yeah, I think it's like Azuki and like whatever other projects are benefiting from blend speculation. Absolutely.
Oh, Cam's got the bear take for us. I feel you. I do the same. Less so these days because I believe the ride is slowly coming to a stop. Interesting. I love the different takes here. Market cap overall is down over the last 7 days, though. It looks like. So interesting. Blue chips are up over the last 7.
I think like Cam Taylor is similar to like Marty was. I feel like going through an existential crisis last week. One of the days, I think Cam Taylor like. The feelings are valid right now from where we're at because it's very, very hard to picture like the catalysts and things actually getting back to where things were. Where we're at right now, it's really dire. And trust me, I am also living in this existential crisis every single waking moment right now. So like you're not alone. Let me just say that. Like it is hard right now to look at our bags and feel like, oh yeah, it's definitely coming back. But what I will say is I do think it's cyclical, even if it's not a year out, even if it's 2-3 years out. I think these are assets that live on chain. And when the right market comes along and the right catalysts do happen, there's going to be a lot more infrastructure and a lot more of these even financial tools, things like Blend. There's going to be a lot of things that change the dynamic of collecting and why people want to collect or speculate on these things. And all it really takes is one major catalyst. So we can't predict what that is. We don't know what it is. It could be a new project coming along and blowing up like an Oniforce or like a Bored Ape Yacht Club. It could be a new platform that provides some kind of unique utility or makes the collecting experience way more interesting. It could be a platform like Twitter that all of a sudden decides to put NFTs into a unique place on the user interface. We cannot predict what the utility, the use case, the catalyst, the project is that is going to change the game. And also, like, we have to understand that the macro market and the liquidity situation factors into all this, right? Timing.
Well, we talked interest rates.
Right. So it's like, I totally understand the sentiment right now, because trust me, I'm like, how long can I keep lasting without, a corporate job at this point? How long can I survive? It's not easy out here for most of us that are, full-time Web3 trying to make this shit work. So let me just say again, I feel it, but I don't want to buy into the mentality that this shit's like never coming back, because I don't believe that. I think the unfortunate thing is like, how long it might take at this point, it could be years. You know what I mean? Like that's the worst case scenario, or the scariest shit to me is that the next bull market for NFTs doesn't come along for 2 more years. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, that's fucking harsh, right? Because you're just continuing to hold these bags and try and figure out how to survive during that whole time. And you're probably going to have to capitulate a lot of the shit that you've got if you're as invested as a lot of us are. That's
the real scary thing, is getting up to the next bull run and not either holding assets that then go back up, you know, like if we see another bull run and you don't either have the dry powder to maybe buy a bunch of ETH, you know what I mean, or already holding ETH, and that's, in my opinion, I'm not this is not financial advice, but holding ETH, you're going to do extremely well in the next bull market. But if like you're saying that you have to kind of run out of ETH and then the bull market happens, and you're like, fuck. Or if you're holding NFTs that you think are going to go up, that's the worst part, dude. I know some guys that were in EOS for a long, long time. You know what I mean? And I was holding EOS for a long, long time. And I was like, well, you know, it's going to go back up. And Bitcoin ran up to 60, and EOS might have done, you know, maybe a 2 or 3x in that time, you know, where there were some other opportunities if you caught on to the next narrative to obviously, you know, do what you need. So, and you know, make the old generational wealth, as they say. But anyways, let's finish out with the main topic of the day, which is going to be the Nate Chastain piece. But before that, Gif, I do have this one last topic, the CBDC stuff. This was cool to see North Carolina and Florida come out and basically ban payments in CBDCs, which we know a strong push is being made in the federal government to say, hey, we need to get the US dollar into some type of CBDC, and we can, you know, control the monetary flows and all these different things. Well, Carolina and Florida have come out and said none of that in our state.
This is fascinating because this is the newest front line. Like, this is the newest area for the battle between state versus, you know, federal control, like autonomy versus centralization. You know, if the United States is really the first sort of like decentralized country that was like it is. I mean, I don't know, you could say Rome was like Rome, you know, the Roman Empire had all these different nation states that kind of they let do their own thing as long as they paid their tax. So maybe you could say that was the first sort of federation or republic like it's of its kind that I can think of, at least. But the United States really kind of took that to the next level with its federalized system of government, where each of the states, you know, kind of is responsible for its own domain to an extent, but also has that centralized, you know, benefit and authority that it has to like report to. But that's always been a tension. Like throughout the history of the U.S., it's been a tension between, you know, centralized government versus localized government,
Civil War,
and decentralization. Right. So this seems like the new front line, the new place that a lot of this battle is going to take up. And this is it's going to be super fascinating in these new in the forthcoming election cycles. Again, I've been saying for a while now that we all need to be paying attention to who are the politicians that are pro crypto, pro innovation, pro business. But this could be another place to really be paying attention to, is like what politicians understand the dangers of centralizing, you know, currency to the extent of a CBDC, where you're basically giving full control to a single entity, where every single transaction that you make, whether you're just going to buy some condoms or some tampons at the fucking grocery store, every single transaction would be fed through a centralized system that approves it. Like that's the Orwellian. And a lot of people would argue, well, we're already halfway there, right? You're basically dealing with digital currencies every day if you're doing online banking, and all those are being routed through banks that are also subject to regulation by the federal government. So you're already sort of close to where all of your transactions at that point, if you're not dealing in fiat, can be monitored or tracked. That is true. But there is still a few layers of separation. You are not running every single transaction through a centralized authority that approves it. So you're not quite to that level yet, right? And so this would be jumping all the way to a fully centralized, controlled
Yeah.
You know,
Right now, the government has to ask to access your bank account or send some type of letter to the bank to make sure that that you freeze their account or whatever, what have you. They have to go through that bank, and I wonder if you won't see more banks specifically that are native to these states, like the Texases, the Floridas, the North Carolinas, what have you, if they won't push back a little bit. I know that they're, I'm sure that the Federal Reserve or the powers that be have more control over those smaller banks than probably we know about. But couldn't you see a narrative gift be like, hey, with all of this governmental control trying to come in through CBDCs or other ways, we are going to protect your money. Like running on some type of narrative there, in the same way that they're trying to say, hey, CBDCs are not cool in this jurisdiction. So, but yeah, moving to the CBDC system would give the government direct access to that on and off switch. Right now, they probably have to, like, again, send a notice to the bank or whatever the fuck that process is. Now they would have their hand on the trigger, for sure. Oh, muted.
Well, it comes down to the question of how easy do we want to make it for a centralized authority to control our lives?
I think the answer would kind of shock some of us that are here in Web3. Obviously, we know the answer, but for most of us, but there's a lot of people that don't give a fuck. Marty's got some super bearish takes that I'm just not vibing with whatsoever. Again, NFTs are about digital ownership over unique assets. Like I cannot say that more heavily. Like that our world is moving more digital, not less. I don't like it's a very clear thesis that I don't necessarily think like we're thinking through. And I've said this multiple times as well, Gif. 2019 we were saying the same shit. Man, that was a shared delusion that we all shared with ICOs. Bitcoin ran up to 20K. Is that ever going to happen again?
Yeah. I don't have to add anything to that. It's the technology underlying it and the macro trends that don't change despite the current economics or the current trends of like what's popping off day to day. They don't change what's happening from technological adoption and like the use cases improving for these types of things.
Is this the next bull run for NFT? I don't want to say next bull run for NFTs, but could a next narrative be the same thing Oni's about to pull off? We don't see a lot of NFT projects with tokens. That sounds kind of shitty to be like, hey, like this is what's going to drive it. But like, could you see? Like people are buying, selling Turbo and Pepe and all these different things. Could you see? I don't know if it's regulatory clarity or what needs to happen for tokens, like what's the word I'm looking for? Fungible tokens, like an ape, like a force, whatever the hell you want to call an Oni force. Could Doodles have their own? Could that lead to interest coming back in NFTs? I don't know. So.
I think you have to have enough to back it up and to support it, right? So that's the one thing I'll say. It's like, yes, but are they all going to do it well? No. I think that you can't underestimate, again, like how much interest that can drive in a project, right? I mean, clearly a lot of people are just here for the financial aspect. And so if you're able to further financialize a project in an ecosystem and provide that kind of utility or value back to your original holders, that's going to be one of the biggest quote unquote utilities or interest drivers that I can think of. So a lot of people are going to be excited about that regardless of like what utility is readily available. Mm-hmm. Again, so much of it comes down to execution. But I will say one good thing is that we at least have a really, really strong case study in Yuga, ApeCoin staking, everything that they're doing with Other Side and the different partnerships. And I think, a year ago, you didn't have an example like that to point to of like, what could this look like if somebody did successfully launch their own token around a project and a crypto native, NFT IP.
Dude, I think the conversations we're having right now on this episode are awesome. They're coming for you, by the way. They're coming to get GIF.
Coming for all of us, bro.
Asmodai, it has a good one. I feel like the analysis right here with Marty is saying can't compare BTC creation to NFTs. I'm not making that analogy. I don't know. I think it's just off. Maybe we just disagree. That's fine. So what other reason do you get into projects than just a flip on? I think that's a fair question about Oni, right? Like, why am I buying it other than the fact that I think it's undervalued from maybe an IP standpoint, which I think it is, like that's what I'm looking at for the most part. 0.6 for a relatively well-known project that,
That project also has provenance, legit art. The artist, Brian Lee, is an absolute legend, a living legend already, who continues to create and build his own career. It does have a pretty strong lore and community behind it. There's a lot of other reasons. It's just all that stuff has been pushed to the back lately. You know what I mean? That's the thing, is that like so much of NFTs originally, why we all got in, it was artists collecting, and participating in the community, the culture, but also like, remember that idea of being part of a club, being in like a cool group, a community, and being part of an exclusive experience in a club.
People bastardize that. Yeah.
Right. But I just mean, like, I do think that a lot of where the benefit is going to come back is when you're able to, again, see the value in that again, when projects are able to better express that, better provide those unique experiences and the values that a exclusive, unique, cool community and club can't provide. I think a lot of us have just gotten so far away from it. And to your point, it's been bastardized or overdone to death. But it's going to consolidate, and some are going to figure it out better than others, how to support and reward and enhance their community. And I do think, again, like, it's so hard right now where we're sitting. Like, I fucking get it, man. Like, I'm not going to sit here and try and preach to people that their emotions are wrong, because right now where we're sitting, I feel the same shit. I'm also just painfully aware that as humans, we're very bad at like thinking ahead a couple years or predicting the future. Everything feels very immediate, and like, this is the end all be all. This current state that I'm feeling right now, this is it. Everything it feels so finite in the moment, or like it's finished or done, or like, can't get any worse or any better. We're fucked. But like, how different is shit going to be 6 months to a year from now? Yeah. Like, we can't even fathom how different shit could be with the way that this technology and this space moves.
Well, we didn't even touch on Amazon Marketplace today either. These are big drivers. These larger plays that are happening within NFTs that didn't exist in 18, 19, 20, 21, like, are just popping up literally in the last 6 months. All right, we have to get to the story before we end the episode. Appreciate y'all staying with us till the end. Listen, leave a like today on the episode if you would like to support us. That honestly does go a long way in helping us out. So if you could just take a quick moment and like the episode. Choin is saying, gotta run, I have a meeting. Yep, one of those fools still working in corporate America. Listen, you're not a fool right now. Get that dry powder, baby.
You're doing better than most of us in Web3 right now, Choina. So shout out to you for hanging out with us anyway.
Okay.
Smash the like.
Again, I have no idea who is deciding the titles and the thumbnails and all of the things for these articles, but the fact that this is an actual title for an article on NFT Plaza is wild. It says shit goes down in the Nate Chastain NFT insider trading case. So bravo to whoever thought about that. Of course, this is about, the ex-product manager there over at OpenSea. I believe he was fired for this. Like, he was let go for this a while ago. This was like 2 years ago at this point, maybe a year and a half.
I don't know if it was that long, but yeah, it was a while ago. It takes a while, for our legal system to play out.
So the story is, following a week of court-based shenanigans, deliberation. Man, you guys are wild over here. Court-based shenanigans, deliberation, and opposing arguments. A jury has given its verdict in the OpenSea insider trading case. As a result, the former product manager Nate Chastain has been formally convicted of participating in wire fraud. Way back in September 21, Crypto Sleuths uncovered a ruse that involved OpenSea rogue trader flipping NFTs. Featured on the NFT marketplace homepage, a cunning plan that backfired when the dubious funds were transferred to a wallet containing a CryptoPunk owned by Chastain. During the case, Chastain's lawyers argued that defendant was unaware that his actions represented a violation of contract, stating that his employer never informed him that that was forbidden, and sharing that sensitive info.
Look, the reason why it matters, this was a big case, like when it first sort of popped up and Nate was, exposed for this. A lot of people obviously took issue with it, and the way that it's being positioned right now is as the first ever NFT insider trading case. This shit sets precedents, right? That's why it's important. And also just the implications of that being that, like, yes, it gives us more ability to protect and defend, enforce, better behavior in the space maybe. But I think one of the sort of common feelings right now is that, this guy, like, what he was doing was about $50,000. It may have been, bad. It may have harmed a few people on a smaller level, but there's a lot of people that are getting away with murder, millions of dollars rugging left and right, or billions of dollars. If you're looking at a SBF, people like that, it's just like, it is going after Nate Chastain and making an example out of him the best way for us to be regulating the space? I don't know. That's a tough one, right? But it is a precedent-setting case, so it's interesting for us to be aware of. And I am for us being able to, enforce good behavior and protect against bad behavior. I'm not convinced that this guy was the best example, but.
Yeah, we've been talking about that Goldilocks area that Ethereum has found itself out of, right? Where it's too big now to be attacked by the U.S. government, to be honest. Well, I think we feel like Nate is definitely in that Goldilocks zone, right? Like, OpenSea is really well known, but not big enough where they're like, oh, like, we're not going to not be able to charge these people. So they're in a great zone. They're well known, and he committed a crime. Honestly, like, in my opinion, regardless if we talk about the traditional art world or whether it happens there, this is a fucking crime. He knew the NFTs. He knew what was being featured beforehand, and he would buy it before it was featured on the homepage, and that would draw a bunch of interest. It was fucked up for him to do. Are they going to use him as an example like they like to use? Hell yeah. And he was the biggest. OpenSea was the fattest pig in the pig pen, and he got slaughtered.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Good points all around. And yeah, I do think one of the interesting points that was brought up on GM 3 today is that, like, the amount of insider trading and front running of, like, big events and showcases that happens in the IRL art world is mind boggling. Like, this is literally just the way that these less transparent legacy businesses run. But, now we're operating on the blockchain, and transparency is one of the values and virtues of the blockchain. So in theory, we should be able to cut down on a lot of the bad practices and shady dealings that happen in the IRL art world. And that's actually meant to be a feature, not a bug. Like, this is supposed to be something that if you are in the market for transparent art collecting, a better art market, things like that, probably a W, in that regard. Because the IRL art market has been famously corrupt and shady and non-transparent.
I mean, the one thing we can say is this is not going to be the last time they come down with a hammer, So there's going to be some other examples made.
Well, now they got a precedent to make it to expedite it, right?
There you go. Yeah. All right, folks, that's the end of the episode. We went almost 2 hours today. Gift Ed is starting to that pollen that non-existent pollen. Unless pollen, do you guys get pollen out there? Is there pollen epidemics out in Cali?
Oh yeah. In LA, definitely.
I didn't know because you guys don't do like that whole year round. You're like always nice year round. Isn't it like heaven year round over there or something?
Absolute heaven.
Wagme United was a bigger crime than Nate. Free Nate.
Wow.
Yo,
Marty, you know
should
what?
People just be jailed for bad drops.
Say what you want about Marty McFly. He's got hot takes.
He's got moxie.
He's got some hot takes, damn it. He's got gumption. All right. Anyway.
All right, Gift. This was the last episode of the week. I'll let you leave it off. But guys, this has been again an awesome week in Web3 and NFTs. Some really cool like projects or platforms coming out either with announcements or that we're hearing about that are going to push this space forward. So I thought it was a pretty active week overall. I honestly, at the end of this week, I feel a little bit more bullish. I know that we're like still in this phase, but there's a lot of cool shit happening, and we were able to cover it, and we're able to cover it each day with you guys, and I appreciate you for doing so. So OBOT there, but Gift, take it out, man.
Heck yeah, Nifty Q. Appreciate you, big guy over there. Smash the like for this man if you haven't already. Doing the Lord's work, showing up, and yeah, couldn't be more appreciative of the homies that continue to, show up with us and try and educate, onboard, editorialize, and understand what's happening in this crazy space together. It's not easy to keep showing up here right now, but if you're out there, we appreciate it. We appreciate y'all very, very much. We will be back with more GM Web3 and NFT Live next week, but tonight on Web3 Twitter, Speakeasy is back with the new baby daddy, Kane Mayfield, Easy and Crypto. That's going to be a blast. Again, if you're not familiar with Speakeasy, it is the funniest show on Twitter Spaces. That's not a lie. This is not cap. This is not hyperbolic statements that I'm just making up. This is the funniest show on Twitter. It's facts. So that's going to be happening at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. EST. Speakeasy returns. I'm excited for that. And then beyond that, we're doing a giveaway of Builders of Titania right now. So check out Web3 Twitter for that. We will follow up on that. NFT Live, Web3 Twitter. We're going to be pumping that over the weekend. So one lucky winner will get a Builder of Titania NFT from the man, Jeff Jag himself. So last shout out there for Jeff Jag. Thank you for joining us, our vibe, our tribe.
The flex, bumping Justin Bieber, the fever, it left. She know what she need, all she blessed.